people, and we won the title back, Lou. That's the biggest thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's real big.
And it was a stroke of genius playing those two full forwards up there.
You said it wouldn't work.
Well, it did, Ted.
It did work, and everybody said it wouldn't work, and it did work.
Doesn't EJ look worried at this stage?
Followers of State of Origin Aussie rules don't need such things as scoreboards to check the game's fortunes. There's a far more engaging barometer, ranging from bright red to purple, from boiling hot to flaming, from certifiable to a stretcher case.
And Teddy's face says it all.
When Victoria loses, it's Ted Whitten who's up front.
We were devastated, we were shell-shocked.
There's the siren, the game's all over.
And when the Vics win, even his humility is overpowering.
That's Billy, he's the man, Come on, talk to him. Hey, you, come here. He's the man, Billy. Tell him, son.
For those who have never heard of Ted Whitten, which means those who are mystified by the sight of 36 men in funny jumpers chasing spherical balls around a paddock, he is Mr. Football.
Lots of fun, enjoy yourself today. Victoria boys are hard to beat when they come out to play.
The limelight he enjoys currently as Victoria's chairman of selectors. But he was the game's greatest player, a legend who did all those things that folk heroes do, who played a record 321 games for Footscray, and even at 58 is still the most imposing, the most lovable larrikin in the game.
G'day, Ted.
Hello, Neil. How are you, son? The wide world of sports to the western suburbs, eh?
Come on, Ted, I want to
Can you feel it, son?
Can you... I want to ask you a few questions. Ted, I want to ask you a few questions.
Stand up, son. Be a man.
Do you think you get the upper hand by shaking a bloke's hand like this?
Well, the first thing you do is guard your hand, because you know when you shake hands, it's going to be a strong grip, and you've got to be, otherwise it'll be crushed.
Yeah, this is where it all first happened, Neil. 16 years of age, you know, just only the shave, and this is where all the big men played their football. And I look around the rooms, all the memorabilia here, and up here behind you, that's the Past Players Association. All the blokes that played here many years ago, they meet here for Saturday and have a few beers, and they kick goals an extra 50 yards, and they play an extra 100 games. And
What year is that, Ted?
1961, Neil, yeah. It's a 61 side made the grand final that year against Melbourne.
Had a bit of plaster on the old wrist?
Yeah, I had 7 broken wrists, and they finished up taking a bone out of my wrist.
How many?
7 broken wrists, and they took a bone out. It was smashed to pieces.
How could you break your wrist so often?
Oh, falling from big heights.
One such occasion when his wrist fell from a big height was a match against Collingwood. Coach Charlie Sutton had asked him to quieten a noisy nuisance.
Sutton said, someone's got to fix Richards up. And it was just before half-time, and Lou was running around, did a fancy blind turn, ran right into an elbow. And it just sort of cracked his jaw a little bit, and he didn't come back after half-time. But before he left the ground, he said, I'll never ever forget you, kid. I'll get you. It's the last thing I do.
But I didn't say that because I couldn't have possibly said it. Well, it's pretty hard to talk when you're lying on a stretcher knocked out. I think he's imagined that because Ted does have a tremendous imagination. I think he's...
Did you get him back, Lou?
I got him back the next year, the first game. Of course I got him
The
back.
ball was bouncing, the ball was tapped to me, and I went to get it, and I had 2 fists right in the face. And down I looked up, and I got to see Louis looking down at me. He said, I told you, kid, a monkey never forgets.
Whitten made monkeys of many a rival, but it was his way of asserting himself, his greeting, that made their eyes water. Over the years, how many testicles did you squeeze?
Oh, I wouldn't know in numbers, but it's a tall and large and mediums, and I'd say the majority of the medium size.
Did you find the testicle a vulnerable area to grab, or just easy?
It depends how much pressure you applied and the situation you're in. And
Did you find it had a strong effect on players?
oh, with some it did. With some it did.
Well, you played how many games?
321.
With trial by video, how many would you have played, Ted?
21.
What are you going to miss the most?
I think I'll miss the actual action out there on the ground, mixing it with the players, taking the knocks and giving them, giving some cheek and getting a lot back, arguing with umpires.
Now tell me, Mr. Whitten, Mr. Football, if you like, Did you ever give some back chat to the little man in white?
Never talked to an umpire in my life, except to say g'day.
Footscray's monument to its favourite umpire is the E.J. Whitten stand.
I'd love to sit there and have a hot dog one day and the footy's on and a cold can of Foster's.
Would you?
Yeah, and barrack like the rest of you know, just a hot pie with sauce running down me and a cold can of Foster's like a real big Norm.
And
the doggies!
And yell abuse at some Ted Whitten. Look.
You mongrel umpire!
There's no one out there, Ted, it's all right.
Believe you me, if anyone psyched himself up for a match this coming week, I'm psyched myself up as a commentator. It must be our own champ, Ronnie Miller.
Ted, Bulldog Brow, are you getting sick of seeing me?
Not since Jack Nicholson played R.P. McMurphy had anyone been cast more brilliantly than Ted when he retired from footy. As Jack Little's replacement on the wrestling, he was a giant amongst equals.
I enjoyed it. I travelled the world with Andre the Giant, 7 foot 5 inches tall, 45 stone. Hated a drink. We come back from Ballarat one night and he said, we'll have a drink on the way. He drank a slab of cans from Ballarat. He's 35 stone. Now just watch him fly through the air. For the size of the big fellow, he is very agile indeed. He is airborne there. Lands right on the top with a body press on to Malumba, covers him for the count of 3. We wrestled one night at the Melbourne Festival Hall. And we went to a place after to have a drink. And I said, have a beer, Andre? He said, no beer, boss. Andre off the beer. Andre, have a wine. He drank 14 bottles of Matus. I finished up under the table again. Oh, could he drink? Yeah, he's an enormous drinker. But they were great. They were great showmen. And very strong to be able to lift a guy, you know, 18, 19 stone above your head, even though they jumped for a start. Give themselves a kick start.
To relax on the day before last Tuesday's State of Origin match, Ted arranged a gentle game of golf with his son.
That's in the lake.
See you up there. Yep. I think I'll go the long way. Jesus, what next am I going to do wrong here? Where's my ball?
Across the other side.
His health is as erratic as his backswing. Even this so-called immortal suffers Paget's disease, an ear disorder, a duodenal ulcer. He's just had a prostate operation, and on top of all that, he has a totally incurable case of good humour.
I got it. I got it. Hey, mate, give us a chop out here, will you?
What's the main problem with his game, Ted?
I think it's just an overall thing. He doesn't know how to hold it, doesn't know where to look, doesn't know where to line himself up. He thinks he's kicking a footy.
I wouldn't describe my golf game as being very good today at all. I'm not having the best of days. I think I'm excited.
This is why he's so excited. He's come straight from the golf to the Vic's last training session. And the news is that they're going into the State of Origin match against South Australia with more injuries than any Victorian team in memory. The prospect of humbling Mr. Football is music to Adelaide ears.
The Vic's Supremo, Ted Whitten, stepped off the plane and into the bear pit. He was fired up by statements from John Cale.
They make excuses and they're quick to rubbish people.
But the Victorian chairman of selectors held court and had his reply.
John Cale said to me an hour ago on camera that he thought the Victorians were loudmouths.
Yes.
And very dishonest. He said he's been over there and he knows
said we're making excuses.
Yes.
And I asked him, who's making the excuses? I ask you, who did he say are making the excuses? Who? The selectors? Who?
Allegations. Loudmouths and dishonest.
Who's loudmouth?
He said the Victorian...
Who? Well, the players. You made the statement, you tell me.
No, I don't know. I think he was generalised.
And when it was over, the skipper and Mr. Football went for a not-so-squeezy ride in a pie truck. No doubt they're keen to make us eat humble pie tonight.
But it's not humble pie that's on Ted's mind.
Adrenaline starting to run now. Getting close to the action.
That was for you.
Almost too close, yeah. I could eat the bastard too.
You'd like to be out there again?
I'd love to be out there, but it's such history.
Good. Let's go.
Once they get in that room on match day, and you know you're going to play for Victoria, then you pull that jumper over you with the big V on your chest, and when you look down you see that big white V, you know you've made it. Good boy. Bradley? Yeah. All right, son? Big one today, eh? And look, you know, a lot of people think that we are on a big salary. We don't get 1 cent, not 1 cent in this position.
So why do you do it?
Because I love football, and I love being competitive, and I love Victoria.
There's a dust-up, right of centre-half forward, but...
From the very start, the Vics are tougher and more tenacious. And Teddy, not only is he selector, motivator and nerve case, he is like King Wally to rugby league, the big mouth who Victorians love and South Australians love to loathe. On nights like this, you wonder whether there'd be State of Origin Aussie rules without E.J. Whitten.
You try very hard.
And when the big V is victorious, the big chest is protruding, the big heart is pumping, no one enjoys victory quite as much as Mr. Football.
Boys, Mickey Mouse, fellas! You've done it again! The Vics are back in town! Oh, what are you going to sing the song, fellas? Yes, they come to play!
Just for recreation's sake, to pass the time away. Hey. Lots of fun, heaps of fun, enjoy yourself today. Victoria boys are hard to beat when they come out to play. So join in the chorus, sing it one and all. Join in the chorus, Victoria's on the ball. Good old Victoria, champions you agree. Victoria will be champion, just you wait and see.